What's your preferred digital currency for this exchange?
Have a fiver?
Nah, it's crypto only, mate.
For potatoes?
And onions.
GM, and welcome back to the channel. Now in this one we're talking about ETFs, as there is some breaking news in the market right now. An Ethereum Trust ETF has been applied for by BlackRock, so more on that in this video. Also an update from yesterday on the BTC Spot ETF. We'll talk about the difference between the two, and I've got a Kujira update at the end as well. So if you do enjoy this one, make sure you do subscribe to the channel and we'll jump on in. So ETH here has poked its head above 2,000 bucks, which feels like it has been quite some time since we did that previously. It was actually the middle of July when we were last around 2K, so somewhere on the chart around here, that wick high, and ETH has just busted through that now. I think it's hit 2,100 on a few select exchanges, but that was just on a wick basis. But consolidating here at 2K, some implications here for Bitcoin as well. More on that in just a second. But this just in news around 1 hour ago from filming, $9 trillion asset manager BlackRock registers Ethereum Trust in Delaware. Highlight the word trust here. This is not a spot Ethereum ETF, but an Ethereum Trust, similar to Grayscale with their Bitcoin Trust, BlackRock with an ETH Trust here. So as we can see from this paperwork now circulating online, 9th of November 2023, Daniel Schwager from BlackRock has applied for the iShares Ethereum Trust. So we have the largest asset manager on planet Earth, not only going for the spot Bitcoin ETF, but also the inevitable. Everyone was saying, when will we see an ETH ETF? Most were speculating around a spot ETH ETF, but it looks like we've got a trust coming first. Now, this was also pointed out by some eagle-eyed people over on crypto Twitter, saying that, look, the Bitcoin Spot ETF was actually applied for 7 days after BlackRock initially applied for a BTC Trust. So it seems like maybe they'll follow this one up here, this Ethereum Trust with a spot one. We will have to wait and see, but ETH obviously reacting as you would expect when you have big news like this. Raoul Pal with quite a good take on this. He says an ETH ETF is the holy grail for asset managers, as they can capture the yield and only give price performance to the ETF holders. It's a super profitable business until it gets competed away eventually. That in reference to the ETH staking yield. So you can stake your Ethereum. I think it's around 5-6% APY at this moment in time. And what he's saying here is that this kind of trust would actually take all the yield and not actually give the participants any of it back. So pretty crazy stuff there, because if you do know anything about cryptocurrency and you know how to use self-custodial wallets, it's very simple to start staking your ETH. But of course, people will want an easy way to get exposure to these crypto assets. So making it all very boomer friendly here, quite interesting to see. But what are the potential second order effects of this? Well, we're likely to see more Ethereum staking heat up yet again. We may even speedrun the narratives of last year. It was around the start of last year we had liquid staking governance tokens really kick up for the first time, because the ETH narrative brings with it a staking narrative, and these are the potential big winners from more ETH getting staked, the likes of Lido, Rocket Pool, etc. And you can see over the last 24 hours, quite a few of these are ticking up quite a bit. So this is an area of interest I would suggest looking at right about now, as it could be one of the next big movers in the market off the back of this ETH Trust ETF from BlackRock. This one here, though, has my attention. SSV Network did a full video on this, explaining what it is, what it does. It is distributed validator technology, very important for the overall decentralization of Ethereum. So this could also catch a narrative off the back of this. And this one's down quite a bit from the highs at the start of last year. As you can see, this is the Q1 performance, went from like 10 bucks all the way up to 50 bucks. So that was last year. It retraced, gave away most of its gains, although there have been technical developments around this project, and they have hit mainnet now, and they have been doing some tests with the likes of Lido. It's now trading at around 16 bucks only. So this could be an outside shout. Of course, not financial advice, but this is one I'm primarily interested in at this moment. So now over to Bitcoin, and this obviously has an effect because people are bidding ETH now, and this takes a bit of attention away from BTC. So this is the Bitcoin price action. It did touch 38K earlier, but now we're seeing a bit of a sell-off. So the question is now, does the attention detract from BTC? It would seem very strange if it did totally detract from BTC after the ETH news, but you can see it's dropped around 1,500 bucks top to bottom there. Don Alt also posted this just after the ETH ETF news. Fire sold a large chunk of my BTC I bought at 27K into 37.5, bought a way smaller position in ETH. Quite interesting for him to say that, considering his earlier comments. He has been very bullish BTC and BTC only. Could see this outperform for a bit, even if Bitcoin struggles given the recent news. Feels like he squeezed enough out of that trade. Bidding 32 to 33K region for Bitcoin though. So he's suggesting maybe we start to retrace some of the move up, maybe take us to the start of this level here or this kind of breakout candle through here. Now, why do I highlight Don Alt? Because he has been, in terms of a big macro trades guy, he's absolutely nailed everything. So his signal in the market here, something to really consider, that BTC maybe has a bit of a pullback here as attention is diverted. And of course, crypto is very much the attention economy and people start looking to ETH. But this was the news yesterday around the Bitcoin Spot ETF approval from James Safar. He believes a 90% chance of approval of the Bitcoin Spot ETF by January the 10th. However, in the orange, a brief window opens on November the 9th, which is today, for the SEC to potentially approve all 12 US spot Bitcoin ETF applications, and this will be open for around 8 days. If we just scroll up though, this was from DB, who is always hot on all the news. He says an ETF cannot be approved whilst it's in the comment period. If the SEC wants to be fair and approve all spot applications at the same time, then it would have to do so when there are no outstanding filings with a comment period, which is between the 9th and the 17th of November, he states. So Bitcoin's approval could literally be right around the corner here, and that potentially merges with some people's narrative around the approval of the ETF being maybe a local temporary top for Bitcoin. We'll have to wait and see. I do not have strong opinions on this right now. All I'm really keen on tracking is the flows, and there's lots of big money flows into crypto at this moment. So this one has been an absolute insane rocket ship ride here for Kujira. We'll finish news off around this. It was like $2 when I went to sleep last night. Woke up, it's like $3.50. Bit of a retrace here to $3. Would like to see some consolidation and sideways, as this kind of straight up action is a little bit scary after a while. Then in terms of Kujira tokens, they have all now been fully circulated. So FDV and circulating market cap is exactly the same. Never any more Kuji tokens entering circulation from any type of vesting. Everyone has them out there somewhere. So Kuji token breakdown here, you can see a lot of tokens were vesting over a 24-month period, and that ended today on the 9th of November 2023. So all the tokens that are out there, alive in the wild, that is as many as there will ever be. And my way of thinking about this is, if you stake Kujira, you get a clip of all the fees on the chain. So the larger percentage you own of staked Kujira, the bigger the amount of revenue you can pull from this ecosystem overall. And I expect this ecosystem to continue growing. You can see it on the graphic here. We just surpassed that deadline there. KP also posted this yesterday. If you are new to Kujira, you want to give this guy a follow. He stated, in response to Yield Harbor coming out, options on Kujira. So Yield Harbor, go to the profile, decentralized options trading coming soon to the Kujira chain. Again, hitting all the key narratives out there, very, very bullish. Anything that a DeFi user would want to have available to them, Kujira is going to provide. Finally, we have this from Ranua, yet again, pumping the bags on Kuji. We're working with a major tier 1 exchange to get Kuji listed. So this was one of the main arguments from detractors. Kujira has no deep liquidity and it's not on a centralized big exchange. Well, that could be about to change. We'll wrap things up there. Drop your comments down below. What do you make of the ETH Trust ETF coming for BlackRock? Are we going to see some crazy stuff on chain for ETH-based altcoins? I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe if you're new. Peace.